the game like this was needed. Okay, it was needed. Not as stressful as as it would have been, but I just want to show off something really quickly. Um, you remember this? It was at Emirates Bank Arena when we lost 5-1 at home. 2 months later on TNT. See that? Almost exact results, but on a road. So not fun. Minnesota. I don't want to. I'm not the type of trash talk, but it's not fun when you get your ass kicked like this at home, right? Because trust me, we know a thing or two about it. So, but yeah, the Florida Panthers just came out and dominated. So we're not gonna. This video won't be that long, okay? So Sergei Bobrovsky coming off a really tough game against the Edmonton Oilers. This time, instead of Philip Gustafson, they're going up against Marc-Andre Fleury, and Florida Panthers looking to continue to momentum after a really bad few games. Getting shut out twice in a row. This is on TNT, okay? TNT, national television, everybody's watching. And it didn't take long because first goal of the game came 3 minutes and 48 seconds into the game. Aaron Ekblad with the slap shot, and that just goes right through. He is assisted by Sam Sarkevich. That's his 5th assist of the season. And Jesper Boquist, 6th assist of the season. Ekblad gets his 2nd goal of the season. And I gotta say, Sam Sarkevich had a really good game tonight. He really did. So 1-0 Florida already. A few minutes later, though, there would be a goal. There would be a Minnesota goal. There would be a Minnesota goal at 10 minutes and 20 seconds into the first period. Kaprizov, it was oh, god damn it, I just lost it. Kirill Kaprizov was the one that would score that goal initially. However, there was something. So when that goal happens, right before the goal happened, there was some contact made in the Blue Chris. So people are calling Bobrovsky a flopper. Well, I don't know how you can call it a flop when there was actual contact made in the Blue Chris. So what does Paul Maurice do? He challenged this goal, and there was clear contact in the Blue Chris. It wasn't anything to do with Bobrovsky flopping, but Marco Rossi was there and skate by in the Blue Chris, made contact with Bobrovsky, and it affected Bobrovsky's ability to make a move and make a save. So by rule, it should wipe out the goal, and it did wipe out the goal. So Kaprizov's goal was disallowed for goaltending interference. So unfortunate for them, but fortunate for us, only for a little while. Only for a little while. Okay. Now, there was this stupid call. These calls were weak. These were weak calls. AJ Greer gets called for a charging against Brock Faber. What? Name one area in that particular spot where it's a charging. What the hell is a charging? What the hell is a charging? Players charge at other players, opposition players, all the freaking time. Why is it in that scenario that AJ Greer is guilty one? And also, they called it late because the play continued, and until the whistle, when the puck was at the netting, or was it at the netting? No, it was a little bit before that. Where the play continued, and Panthers did have the puck. And then the puck went to the bench, and then they called it charging. What the hell was that officiating, for real? Boldy with the snapshot during that power play, which was saved by Bobrovsky. And then another horrible call by the officials too. Reinhardt gets called for a trip against Matt Zuccarello. It would become a 5-on-3 5-on-3 for Minnesota. The 5-on-3 part was killed off, so it becomes a regular power play, and of course they score. Matt Boldy gets his 17th assist of the season, and Kaprizov with his 26th assist of the season. Though he didn't get a goal in this game, but the guy that was guilty of goaltending interference, Marco Rossi, he was the one that would make up for it for Minnesota with the backhand, which would be a power play goal for Minnesota, and ties the game 1-1 with his 12th goal of the season. But it didn't take long though, because 2 minutes later, a snipe shot by Maki Samsokevich, and he gets right by Fleury. With his 6th goal this season, he is assisted by Aaron Ekblad with his 15th assist of the season. What a shot by Mackey, bro! That it was right by the blue line too. Great shot by Mackey, and it really paid off. Really paid off, man. I'm so proud of Mackey. He is becoming one of my favorite players, especially when he was a prospect, and he is looking to prove something with the main roster. I mean, Mackey, bro, you're absolutely fantastic. Before the period ends, though, Chisholm tries to get one in, Zuccarello also, and but Bobrovsky has it all. And since that first goal given up, Bobrovsky has been rock solid. So the first period ends. Right before that, right after that there was some end of first period scuffle. There was a fight that broke loose. Second period. Oh, I apologize for the noise. Second period, though, it's been all Florida Panthers. All Florida Panthers. 2 points scored in the second period. Should have been 3, but hey, I digress. So Florida is trying to put one into the back of the net. Gustav Forsling is trying to put one in. Mikula is also trying to put one in. But Marc-Andre Fleury is stopping all the pucks, too. However, in the 13 minute into the second period, after Kaprizov with the wrist shot, which was saved by Bobrovsky, there would be a goal. He would have been assisted by Matthew Tkachuk. Barkov would have picked one in, and he was scoring that one to make it a 3-1 game. At the time, it was amazing. However, Minnesota coach also challenged the call. Also challenged this goal to determine if somebody was offside. Now, TNT was showing Nate Schmidt to see if Nate Schmidt was offside. Well, in that part, he was not offside. And the referees called it offside anyway. And at the time, why would they call an offside if that wasn't even close? It turns out they weren't looking at Nate Schmidt. So, Nate Schmidt had the puck. His body is moving back to the blue line. It's a good clean, remain onside or something like that. It's really hard to tell with the offside or onside thing in that particular moment. So I think it comes out with the judgment call on Nate Schmidt. However, it turns out they were not looking at Nate Schmidt. They were looking at the entry zone from Verhaeghe. Carter Verhaeghe was the one that was offside. So I thought I was going to lose my marbles with Nate Schmidt being offside, which he wasn't. But then when they showed Verhaeghe, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So unfortunately, Barkov's goal was disallowed for an offside. Verhaeghe's offside, which was unfortunately a correct call. So that was a good challenge by Minnesota. However, though, we would make it 3-1 anyway, which was Matthew Tkachuk with the poke. And then we make it to 3-1 game anyway. He would be assisted by Verhaeghe, which is his 17th assist of the season, and Barkov's 21st assist of the season. He would get a point anyway. Matthew Tkachuk with the poke deflection to make it a 3-1 game. Matthew Tkachuk on the ice celebrating. Now, I guess when the puck goes right in, there was some contact to Marc-Andre Fleury, but he didn't even do anything. Matthew Tkachuk, I guess his momentum fell after the puck was gone to the back of net onto Fleury. But Matthew Tkachuk didn't do anything. No. What happened was Ryan Hartman was the one that was roughing Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk didn't even do anything. He was doing this, to do a little defense on the ice, and in a whole scuffle, everything was beating the shit out of each other. But yet Matthew Tkachuk gets called for roughing too. I don't understand that call. I just don't understand that call. Matthew Tkachuk didn't do anything, and the referees put him in the penalty box anyway. So it became a 4-on-4 after the whole fight happened. So both Ryan Hartman and Matthew Tkachuk both were called roughing. So at least the calls happened after the goal. Because if this was before, then this would have been an absolute frustrating thing for Florida Panthers, because that's twice that happened to us, that the goal was disallowed for some bullshit penalties or a challenge that would have something like that. But thankfully, this was after the goal. So 4-on-4 for the game. Florida Panthers clearly the winner of the 4-on-4 battle. I mean, Forsling, Anton Lundell tries to get one in with the snap shot, wrist shot, and the backhand with some rebounds and second chance efforts. But Marc-Andre Fleury, all of them saved right there. Reinhart with the tip in, which was saved there by Fleury, and those penalties would be killed off. Those penalties would be killed off. Now, after the penalties would be killed off, Matt Boldy gets called for a slash against A.J. Greer. So Florida goes on a power play. During that power play, Aaron Ekblad with the wrist shot, but that was saved by Fleury. Aaron Ekblad again, saved by Fleury. Carter Verhaeghe that tries the wrist shots against Andre Fleury. And then finally, there would be a goal off the wrist shot. I mean, Fleury could not stop all the pucks. As good as he is, as good a veteran, a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer as he could not save all the pucks. As Florida's pressure, the penetration was just too much for him to handle. It's Matthew Tkachuk again with second goal of the game, as many as 5 minutes. And his 13th goal this season with the wrist shot. He is assisted by, once again, Aaron Ekblad with his 16th assist of the season, and Carter Verhaeghe's 18th assist of the season with his 13th goal of the season, his second of the game. And it's a power play goal for the Florida Panthers. And that would then carry up over to the third period. There would be a little bit of end of the second period scuffle, but nothing crazy like the first period. Third period starts off. And, there was a shot on goal with Gashevich, but that was saved by Marc-Andre Fleury. I should have pointed out that Sam Bennett is out, too, with the illness, the same illness that Barkov might have had. And there was even a talk that, Sam Bennett was clearly playing through the illness in the Edmonton game because of the fact that Barkov was out. I mean, what a trooper. But anyway, third period. There was a huge hit on Jesper Boquist. Minnesota player, I can try to pronounce it as best I possibly can. I can't. I'm sorry. I tried. But he hits Jesper Boquist, and on doing so, Boquist's helmet kind of caught the side of the plastic wall, the glass wall, off by the bench. That looked like it hurts. That was a scary hit on Boquist. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully Boquist is okay. I don't think, as far as I remember, he did not return in this game. He ended up going to the locker room for the rest of the game. This is clearly a head. This is clearly a head part. That looked nasty. That looked absolutely nasty. I hope it's not a concussion. I really hope it's not a concussion, because Jesper Boquist has been a really good player. So, anyway, in the third period, with leading 3 points ahead of Minnesota, Florida's clearly a favorite to win the game, and sure enough, they did. There will be another goal 11 minutes into the third period. He is assisted by Reinhart. That's his 22nd assist, and Anton Lundell's 14th assist of the season off the wrist shot. Wouldn't you believe it? I think it's the first time in his career. Niko Mikula with his 4th goal of the season, and this is another goal. Back-to-back games he has a goal against Edmonton and against Minnesota. His 4th goal of the season, which is his career high. And there's roughly, about 40 games left, almost 40 games left. 44 games left, if my math is correct. That he has a career high of 4 goals. And there's still a lot of games left. So could he finally get his a career high, new career high? I don't know, man. Mikola has been really good. He gets one in past Andre Fleury to make it 5-1. Very good goal by Mikola. And now a few minutes later, I mean, there will be a fight that happens, kind of like a little slash and fight between Ryan Hartman and Anton Lundell. Ryan Hartman with the slash against Lundell, they were like, beating each other up. And I guess when the game was out of hands, when it's getting out of hands, Hartman gets called for a 10-minute misconduct, as well as Anton Lundell getting called for a 10-minute misconduct. Which means because there's 3 minutes left in the game, they're done for the game anyway. Marcus Johansson would take over that slashing penalty for Ryan Hartman, and it's 5-1 at that point too. If case anyone was wondering, we lost 5-1 to Minnesota back in October. Remember that? So power play opportunity for Florida, and that penalty would be that penalty would be killed off. The power play is killed off, but Florida still had the puck. Los Rein with the tip in, but that was saved by Fleury. And Rodriguez has the puck now. He gives to Los Rein off this. Actually, no. Rodriguez tries to shoot one in, but then the second chance effort by Los Rein, which would then make it a 6-1 game. Rodriguez gets his 9th assist, assisting Los Rein with his 4th goal of the season to make it 6-1 Florida. And then that's all she wrote. That's it. A lot of goals. Beating the crap out of Minnesota. Our first win since February of 2023 in Minnesota, in St. Paul. That's the last time I remember the Panthers beating the Wild in St. Paul. That game went to the shootout, and the Panthers were able to pull that off. So Florida doesn't have much good luck in Minnesota, especially in the Twin Cities. And especially all the Miami sports. I mentioned earlier that it's been 7 years since the Heat beat the Wolves at Target Center. I guess the Florida Panthers had better luck playing at Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul. But still, it's really tough to play in Minnesota. And the Florida Panthers team had no problems. And they end this road trip 3-2 on a road trip. So despite the back-to-back shutouts, not a terrible road trip. Not a terrible road trip. And that's pretty much it. 33 shots on target for Florida, 27 for Minnesota, 40 hits for Florida, 24 hits for Minnesota. Face-off wins, 31 face-off wins for Florida, 27 for Minnesota. Both teams with two power play opportunities. Both teams got 1 power play goals. One of them was Rossi, and one was Matthew Tkachuk. Penalties, both teams with 4 penalties and both teams with 16 penalty minutes because of the misconduct. 11 block shots for Florida, 9 block shots for Minnesota, 6 takeaways for Minnesota, 4 takeaways for Florida, 11 giveaways for Florida, 15 giveaways for Minnesota, and stars of the game. Aaron Ekblad with 1 star with 1 goal and 2 assists, Barkov with 1 assist, and 3 stars goes to Matthew Tkachuk with 2 goals. And that's pretty much it for this one. A big victory in TNT at not Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. We're finally back home Friday night against St. Louis Blues. So that's good to do for this one. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content because Miami TVG is back. And what he does, hit right there with the free entertainment you deserve. This is Miami TVG, send it, folks, and good night, everybody.